This is called bloom scrolling.
It's way nicer than doom scrolling.
I do.
Okay.
And I found this trend of growing spider plants in pine cones, ?
Snip. And there we go. I've got a baby primed for propagation.
There we go.
That's
Isn't
the
it our provincial
tree.
That's our provincial tree of Alberta. That's cool. I know things.
Kind of looks like a pineapple.
It totally looks like a pineapple.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our Garden Nook.
So I found a whole new term on the internet the other day.
Oh, okay. This is this going to have to be like podcast after dark?
I'm not on those websites.
Like Urban Dictionary?
By the way, do not look up your name on Urban Dictionary. No. It's not great.
One time, okay, total segue, but we were driving in Victoria.
Yeah.
And Harry must have been, 11 or 12. He was on Urban Dictionary and he was reading out all of the names of people in the family. And I had to tell him to stop because I was like, dude, I can't. I was crying. I was laughing.
No.
Okay.
This is way better. This is called bloom scrolling.
It's way nicer than doom scrolling.
It is, isn't it? It's so the official description is a joyful way of using social media, intentionally scrolling for inspiring, uplifting, and positive content that nourishes your mind and mood. Isn't that nice?
Okay, yeah, I prefer that to doom scrolling.
Oh yeah, any day, right?
Okay, yeah, I like that one.
Which is also what you're going to get if you go to our Instagram at the Helpful Gardeners Pod. We share fun stuff all the time. Well, I got a little bit wrapped up in the internet, and there's this trend that's going around. I would call this bloom scrolling. I was bloom scrolling the other day, and I found this trend of growing spider plants in pine cones? ?
See, now you were doing setup here, so this isn't coming out of left field to me, but I have questions.
I did not even realize this was a thing. And the funny thing is I went downstairs and talked to Renew about it. And she's like, I have never heard of this before. She's like, apparently you can do this.
Yeah.
And I think what's great about the gardening world is that everybody's experimenting all the time. And I was literally driving around my neighborhood and looking at all the evergreen trees, and there's just pine cones everywhere. Yep. Obviously, they're going to serve a purpose. They are the seeds and they're the propagation, all of that kind of thing. But I thought, here's a cool way to use up some pine cones. And so I went out in not only around Golden Acre in my community, and I picked up a bunch of pine cones. I picked up some really big ones, some really small ones. Yeah. And then you brought in some really pretty, what are these off of?
That's lodgepole.
Lodgepole pine. That's
That's
Isn't
the
our provincial
tree.
That's our provincial tree of Alberta. That's cool. I know things.
I don't think I'll ever get over the fact that the Manitoba maple is not the provincial tree of Manitoba. But that was a couple of years ago we did that episode. I can move on.
We're not spicy about it. And so here's the thing, Kate. So if you can imagine, by the way, if you're not watching the podcast today, head over to our YouTube or our Spotify and you can watch along and see how we are able to propagate a spider plant in a pine cone. But essentially, if you go outside in your community and you see these pine cones, they're kind of like when they're dried out, they kind of open up, right?
Yep.
Lots of space in between all those nooks and crannies ready for roots.
Well, and that's a survival technique of a pine cone.
Cool.
So they don't spread the same way as flowers do.
Okay.
So it's more kind of, if you would imagine, like spores, dust.
Yeah.
So when it rains, that can easily wash it out and damage it. That's why the pine cone closes.
Hey.
And then when it gets sunny and windy and dries out, which is what it needs, that's why it opens.
Yeah.
So that's actually the survival technique to ensure propagation.
Hey, that's really cool.
Yep.
And it also serves another great purpose for us. Totally intentional.
Yeah.
But we ended up going downstairs and grabbing a couple of spider plant babies. If you have a spider plant at home, you probably have seen this. This is how they propagate. We need to cut this off and then propagate it in water. So how would you go about doing this? You brought some snips with you today.
Super easy. So all you want to do is, so that's the stem that comes out. This used to be a flower. The flower disappears. The baby comes out. So I just snip this back into the plant because I could snip it here. That's what I need. And I need even less than that. But then I just have a dead stem sticking out my plant. So
Bye.
Get out of here. So the base of the baby here, we don't want to cut into that.
Mm-hmm.
So all I would do is I would take that, hold the baby about literally 1/4 of an inch, maybe less, snip. And there we go. I've got a baby primed for propagation.
There we go. And you literally just put this in water, hey?
Yep. And so what I would do then is exactly that. I would stick that in. Ideally, I always, this goes back to my younger horticultural days. The number one thing I would propagate in was shot glasses.
There you go.
Because I had a lot of shot glasses.
Yep.
But the thing is with shot glasses is you can fill them somewhat shallow and then narrow so it holds the plant up.
Right, because you don't want the leaves or anything sitting in it.
Exactly. Ideally, you want just the base, covered maybe 1/2 inch of water. You don't want it falling over, and then the roots grow down the bottom. They don't grow out the side.
Yeah.
So shot glasses were always great, but anything in that dimension.
Get creative.
Yeah.
What do you have around your house, right? And then essentially what you want to do is you will want to propagate it so it has nice roots and everything. But here is an example of a pine cone that I had kind of put into water earlier this morning. It usually takes 1 to 2 hours. But if you can imagine a pine cone like this, it's all spread out and open. I put this pine cone in. It was looking exactly the same. And look at how closed in it is just from being soaked in water. So I've literally taken a glass and filled it with some rocks just to kind of give it some height. And then I'm actually going to remove some rocks. Can you pass me that other mug?
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
But I'm drinking my tea.
Can you pass me your tea so I can use it for this experiment? I'm just going to remove some of this.
And I'd love to point out while you're doing it, we're talking about shot glasses and everything else. I love gardeners because we did these mugs to drink coffee and tea out of, and we do drink coffee and tea out of them, but we also propagate.
We do. Why not, right?
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to pop it inside. So you're going to kind of I've seen some real nice
And the pine cone's going to.
And it closes up on the roots and kind of keeps it steady. So I'm just going to pop this in say, one of the sides. And then we're going to pop it in the water. And then over time, maybe by the end of this episode, we're going to see that it is kind of closed up on itself.
Here's I'm gonna go a step further.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you need. I'm glad we're doing it this way. Actually, I'm glad I didn't have any propagated, and I'll tell you the reason why. Is because can I see that for a second? As this closes up, okay. At the end of the day, it's wood.
Yeah.
So the moisture will absorb through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to bet it holds enough moisture in there that the spider plant will root and grow into the pine cone.
Without needing to.
You won't need to. But what did I say about propagating? You need to keep it upright.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you would literally, that would just stay upright the entire time.
And it kind of looks like a pineapple.
It's super cute. It totally looks like a pineapple.
Lives in a pineapple under the sea. That's all I know of SpongeBob.
There you go. And then literally we're going to pop it in there and it's going to get nice. And so, we'll leave this. And just see. So, we have a few different types of pine cones, but you can experiment at home and see what works better. I can imagine, I'm going to make a whole bunch.
Depending on the size of your pine cone or what aesthetic you like, you know how easy it is to propagate succulents.
Yeah.
Okay, doing it with succulents or a snake plant. Mm-hmm. Okay, basically anything that you can propagate really healthy in water. Here, let me see that for a second. What we could do there is, sorry, I'm so excited. I've never seen, and I love new ideas like this. You
could probably put a couple of plants in there. Hey, I've seen some videos of people putting a few.
Oh, imagine those big, huge sugar cones. I wonder if we have any. Okay, I'll focus.
You need another project? There you go.
Stand him up like that.
Yeah.
Now, the only question I have here is, so like you said, when they close up, I wonder if that's going to get too tight. So
I would probably say just like how you have it right here, where the water hasn't fully gone to the top of it. So it kind of leaves it somewhat open, because essentially what you're wanting is the roots to go into the water. So they're going to find water, and then they're going to get intertwined in the pine cone and then find their way around it. So
because when a Venus flytrap closes.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't slam shut. It's not an iron door. Depending on the thickness of the bug, it closes enough to trap it. So if it's a little skinny bug, it's like that. If it's a fatter bug, it's a bit more open.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if when that closes and there's nothing in there, it closes tight. If there's something in there, it just closes till it meets resistance.
No, totally.
And then it would hold it, and then you have a pineapple spot. I'm really, really curious if you could do like seedlings. If you could like
pop seeds in there.
I don't know about doing it like a seed just from the get-go. It would depend on the seed. Take out a seedling and put it in.
Do you know, do you remember, what was our friend who used to work in the garden supplies department and he went off to go do his own farm? He actually did tomato plants as like a kokedama. So I went to CD Saturday and he was there and he had all these tomato seedlings set up and they were in little kokedama. Michael. And you literally like he said you just plant it like that. Yeah. And it'll degrade.
Well, I've seen the tomato plants planted upside down.
Yeah. Can you imagine just popping this in your garden bed?
I mean, would
that work? Look at all these things we're learning.
As long as the roots are able to get into soil eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I am really, we're leaving this. We're going to check back in
on this and see what happens in like a week. But I'm just going to pull this out now. We've been talking for a little bit. And sure enough, it's closed up even more, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. So try this at home. And if you do, post it on Instagram so we can bloom scroll and find your posting. And then we can maybe share this idea and see what else you can do with the pine cones in your community.
Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to take a smaller pine cone. I'm going to stick it in there. Yeah. And we're going to do this guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Waste not, want not. And then I'm going to guess it's my responsibility to make sure they're watered.
Thanks, Colin.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. Helpful gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!